10 seconds to go. Mr. Deputy Speaker, Sir, I have great pleasure in taking part in the debate relating to the demands for grants of the Ministry of Home Affairs. The Minister of Home Affairs occupies an important position in the central executive, and the central executive is vested with wide powers. It is because of the wide powers and the unique position under the Constitution that it is able to hold the country united in spite of various diversities of language, religion, and other things. Therefore, this unique position should not be disturbed, even if when we think of amendment to the Constitution at any time. The Home Ministry had a difficult time during the year in respect. The whole country was in turmoil politically and economically. The articles of common consumption were scarce. Prices were soaring high, and there was large scale black marketing and smuggling. In this turmoil, some opposition parties campaigned for civil disobedience in the whole country and paralyzed the government to weaken the democracy and the constitution. This act of the opposition could not be accepted by the government. Any government worth its name had to take effective steps to bar such a move, and this law, which was proclaimed by the president on the advice of the government, saved the whole country from destruction. It is no good complaining that during the period under review civil liberties are curtailed, democratic rights are abrogated, and so on. Who is responsible for this? Freedom of speech or freedom of realization does not imply unrestrained freedom or unrestrained rights. Where there is a right, there is a duty. Every right has to be exercised in such a way that it does not cause any hardship to others. It is no good complaining, but let us see that results that accrued from this period. There is all round discipline. You now find discipline in the house. All the members are highly disciplined. They are speaking within their limit, and the work is going on according to the schedule. There is no backlog. I am very happy to see that emergency has produced the desired effect even on members of parliament. We face a changed situation. I am told that since 1962 there has been only a 5% fluctuation in the voting, and yet it has created a tremendously changed picture. We are today not only in the government but in some states in the opposition. We have to create and demonstrate good standards of democratic functioning. We have to work with the opposition wherever they work for the good of the country, and whenever we feel that they are going in the right direction. We must not oppose them merely for the sake of opposition. In our organization, we must renew our faith in the path of democratic socialist functioning. At this time, I do not want to go into matters of policy. We shall have many occasions to discuss these matters. Today, I would like to welcome all those who are new members. We welcome them here and hope that they will make valuable and interesting contributions to Lok Sabha and enrich the debates. At the same time, I would like to give good wishes to those who will no longer be with us. They have been valued colleagues. They have played a very significant part in the debates in the House and in the functioning of the party. We shall miss these familiar faces, and we hope that no matter where they are or what work they are doing, they will keep up their interest in the affairs of the party. Much work has to be done, and not only in the legislature but at all levels, and this is something for which we must all work together under the guidance of the Congress President. Sir, when I got up, I had many things to say, but I must confess that I am so moved that I have no words really except to thank you once again for the confidence which you have placed in me. I would like to tell you that this burden is a tremendous burden, and it is a burden which cannot be borne by one person alone and a few colleagues in the cabinet, but by the entire party here and the entire party all over the country. We must treat these problems as our problems. As I said, we have made a good beginning. Let us not hesitate to give advice or suggestion. Madam, I rise to support the Constitution Amendment Bill 1983, but I am not supporting the Representation of the People Bill 1988. I have got serious objections to certain provisions of the amending bill. You are aware, and the nation is also aware, that there have been frequent promises from the side of the government that the government is very serious about bringing some comprehensive electoral reforms. As a matter of fact, the government never really came out and said what it really means by electoral reforms. So far as we are concerned, we put forth certain suggestions in specific form which may be considered as practical and viable suggestion to bring about appreciable changes in the present electoral system of our country. I do not venture to say that all the measures which we have suggested constitute the final ingredients for a complete reform of the electoral system in our country, because the concept of election changes with changing times. Since I do not have much time, I would like to discuss it, but so far as we are concerned, we placed before the government certain ingredients which should be considered as inevitable propositions for bringing about certain changes in the electoral system. Those include acceptance of the principle of proportional representation, state funding of elections, elimination of money power and muscle power, stoppage of misuse of media, reduction of corrupt electoral practices, and impartial and independent election commission. Madam, I leave it to you and to the House. There was commonality of views on these items. On certain items, even the Congress party also expressed its acceptance. But please find out which of these components that have formed a part of the present bill. At this stage, I want to say something about the comments made by my friend, particularly in regard to proportional representation in India. He has a misconceived idea and he is ignorant of the electoral history of this country.